So I decided to make a quick little video here on how to hit confirm off a jump in. So if you're coming from Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, you'll be noticing that the timing is actually different than how it is in Injustice. So in Street Fighter, what you would do is you would do your jump in, and then the moment you land, you would do your string. So just like how I did there, you'll notice that was only 3 hits instead of 4. And in Mortal Kombat, what you would actually do is input your entire string in the air, sometimes even before you even hit them. So it'll look like this. And if you notice, that didn't work either. In Injustice, actually what you want to do is you want to input your string after you hit them and before you land. So to give an example, this is how it will look like. You will do jump in, hit, and then you do input your string. That's 4 hits. So show that again. So hit them in the air, and then before you land, that's when you want to input the string. You'll get it every time. Now here's a couple of things to note. You'll notice that as I'm hitting Batman here, it's just hitting them. There's no freeze in between the character models. So the game doesn't freeze when you hit them, kind of like how it is in most fighters. But if you notice, when you do a jump in, there actually is a freeze. Both characters actually kind of freeze for a second. This is actually there so it gives you time to realize that you actually hit your opponent, and now it's time to input your combo. So there's a little help right there. Now a couple of things to note here. As I mentioned before, you want to input your string before you land. That doesn't necessarily mean to input your entire string before you land. You just want to make sure to hit the start of it. So in other words, if I were to input my string at the very last second and then finish my the last 2 hits, which is 2 and 3, after I land, I'll still hit the combo as long as I hit my the first 2 before I land and after I hit them. So for example, still comboed even though I landed well after I hit 2 and 3. Now the same thing goes for if you were to just do it all mixed up. So if you were to hit your 2 before you hit them in the air, and then hit your 2 after you hit them, and then hit your 3 as you land, what will end up happening is that you will only get the 2 and 3 part. So if your character doesn't have, like for example, Bane doesn't, his 2 and 3 is an actual string. So what would end up happening is probably I'll just end up just hitting him with the 2. So let's go ahead and give that a try right now. So we're gonna do our splash jump in, then we're gonna hit 2 before we even hit him. Then after we hit him, we're gonna hit 2, and then after we land, we're gonna hit 3. So let's see what that does. Sure enough, all I got was a 2. So obviously, I'm talking about offline. So what about online? Unfortunately, you won't be able to use these visual indicators before you land and after you hit them because of the input delay. If you actually press your button after you hit them in a laggy match, you'll get nothing because the game will think that you actually input this stuff after you landed. So what you need to do is the timing is still the same. It's just that you can't use your eyes to base your timing. You have to actually just use muscle memory of how long it took for me to press this button after I pressed this button. I know that sounds kind of confusing, so if you're having trouble doing a jumping combo online, what I suggest trying to do, as I mentioned it before in one of my older videos of how to do combos online, is just practice with your eyes closed. It sounds kind of weird, but if you can get the timing correctly with your eyes closed, and then you'll notice that it's going to be the same exact timing as it is online. You just have to make sure that, in a laggy match, don't judge your timing based on what you're seeing, because your buttons are not going to match up with what's actually happening on screen.